Divine intervention saves a life. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome back to Encounters from Beyond the Veil. Imagine driving down the highway and coming across a serious accident. And you have the knowledge to help somebody, but not the tools. It would only take divine intervention for you to save their life.
Mary Mueller is a 10-year veteran firefighter in rural Wisconsin and has helped save many lives through the years. But in the winter of 1992, it would take an act of divine intervention to assist Mary in saving the life of critically injured Lori Luth. As Mary prepared for work on a cold January morning, a seemingly routine call came over her pager, notifying her of a car fire. Mary had a strange feeling that this was not just a routine call.
I've never experienced a call like this before, or have I since, that I felt such an urgency that I needed to get out of the shower and to the scene. I had no idea why.
Mary was one of the first firefighters at the scene and quickly discovered a devastating automobile accident. As Mary surveyed the site, something unexplainable happened around her.
As I was approaching, all color went away. All I saw was things like in blacks, whites, and grays, and I thought that was a little unusual.
The accident was severe. A car had collided with a flatbed trailer, killing the driver instantly. As other firefighters began to arrive, Mary was drawn to the figure of a woman lying in a nearby ditch. She expected to find a lifeless body, but when she bent down to check for vital signs, the woman responded and said her name was Lori.
I noticed that off her left ear, there was a good-sized trickle of blood. And I reached down and started to peel back all this matted blood hair, still with my fire gloves on, and I found a gaping injury, forehead encroaching onto her temple area.
Mary was trained in first aid, but didn't carry her own medical supplies. She knew that she had to find a way to immediately stop the flow of blood, but her firefighter gloves were too dirty to apply to an open wound.
I knew this girl's time was running out fast, and I reached way deep down inside me and I said, God, this girl's gonna bleed to death on me if I don't get some help. I said, please help me here.
Seconds after Mary whispered her prayer, she experienced a miracle. A medical bag appeared a foot away from her knee, surrounded by undisturbed snow.
I have no idea where it came from. There was no one else in the area with me. It resembles nothing that we use in our area. We use fluorescent orange or big duffel bags that are red.
To Mary's surprise, the medical bag contained the exact supplies she needed to assist Lori, from rubber gloves to gauze and pressure bandages. A paramedic team finally arrived. As Mary treated Lori's head wounds, the paramedic pulled her hand away for a moment to look at the injury.
And he put it right back down again, and he whispered in my ear, he says, don't let go, you're literally holding this girl's life in your hands.
In order to keep pressure on the head wound, paramedics securely taped Mary's hands to Lori's head.
It's gonna be okay.
When they got us both into the ambulance, it was at that point that I felt a sense of calm, like this was gonna be okay, and that's when color started to return back.
Later, after Lori had been taken to the hospital, Mary returned to the scene. The mysterious medical bag was nowhere to be found.
In the snow where it had been placed, there was an imprint of the bag itself, but the bag was not there. And I kept asking questions because the scene was still secure. And people were saying, well, Mayor, we saw you with the bag. We were wondering where you got the bag from. I said, well, I thought that you had given it to me. And they said, no.
Mary sincerely believes her prayers were answered on that freezing winter day.
because in that devastation and in the horrific conditions, no one should have lived. It truly was a miracle, because Lori would not be with us today if it wasn't for my prayers being answered that particular January morning.
Sadly, it was Lori's boyfriend Rick who was killed driving the car. But Lori did survive the tragic accident, thanks to Mary's answered prayers. Today, Lori has formed a very special bond with her rescuer.
I miss Rick dearly, but having a husband now and 3 children, there's a reason for me being here. And having Mary in my life, I guess she needs somebody to watch over her too.
Well, that medical box surely came from beyond the veil. If you enjoyed this story and this episode, please subscribe so you never miss another. Until next time, I'm Brad Polk for Encounters from Beyond the Veil.